Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Hogarth's Global Astrology. Know your planets, know yourself, or know your nation, know yourself. First of all, apologies for being slightly late to my own show. I'm so used to going up at midnight, but because today is well, it's Boxing Day, isn't it? It's Boxing Day, so it's the day after Christmas. I thought, oh, you know what? I'll go up at 11 p.m. UK time, so that way, when I finish the show around about midnight, and I do, by the time I've done post production and stuff like that, then I'm not going to be going to bed too late. And I'm so used to going up at midnight that I didn't even realize. That's why you're catching me in this top, because I'm like, oops. I've just been chilling out at home, just been kind of relaxing. I didn't even have time to put on a shirt, so sorry, folks. So funny, isn't it? How we are creatures of habit. Let me just make sure that my like, make sure you can see me and hear me properly. I was also as well, I wanted to use my microphone, but I plugged it in and the sound wasn't working properly, so I didn't even have time to do that. So such is life. So before we start the show, I want to wish everyone happy holidays and Merry Christmas as well, if you celebrate Christmas. I hope you guys had a happy Christmas day, and I hope you had lots of food and lots of stuff, even if you were celebrating on your own, because let's not assume that everyone is with family over Christmas. Some people celebrate Christmas on their own. So I hope you had fur babies around, and or pets or neighbors to celebrate with. And even if you didn't have that, I hope you had a TV in a corner and you watched some nice Christmas movies and the like. So Merry Christmas, happy holidays to everyone. And here we are now. Also as well, I had time to quickly print the questions off, and there's quite a few questions in, as you guys can see from that. Oh, what a year so far, huh? What a year so far. We don't have long left to go. So let me is that a proper sentence? I'm not even sure. Let me just give you guys an update. As you know, I have my little rota thing of my guests that are coming on. So next week we have got Lena is back after how many weeks? After, what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. After, well, when she comes back, it will be the 8th week. So that's 2 months. 2 months. She's been gone. And we've also got Susan Lynn on as well. So next week it could be a 5, folks. It could be a 5. And that's next Tuesday, by the way, next Tuesday, the 30th of December. Because, of course, as you know, the Wednesdays have been the last Wednesday fell on Christmas Eve, and that couldn't be done because, of course, I was with my family and having a lovely Christmas. We went to a restaurant, so there was no cooking, which was really, I mean, we didn't have to cook, no clear up, of course, delicious food. There was that, and then the following day, Christmas Day, I went to see my sister and her kids, my niece and nephew, and then so I was just having a really good time. Today, just chilled out, went had some breakfast, just chilled, relaxed, and it's been very good. So I'll be catching up with people and all that stuff. Lots, of course, to discuss. While I'm at it, before the year is out, got to have a little plug, isn't it? Got to do a little plug. It is the Christmas season. I don't know about you, but I'm doing quite a bit of reading. I'm reading this brilliant short stories novel. What's the name? Something July. What is it called? Oh, crikey. I've left the book in the bedroom. But it's very entertaining, but also a bit kind of tragic, funny, and entertaining. I'm 2 stories in. What's she called? Miranda July? Her last name is July. Anyway, but if you're reading, and of course you want to know a bit more about Neo-Vedic astrology and stuff like that, then please, of course, do not hesitate. Oh, this one's all marked up with notes because I often use this book when I'm talking with my clients, you know, to instruct them about certain things. Here we are, as we know this. You guys know this, the Candid Guide to Neo-Vedic Astrology, fully available. Many people still going for that title. So thanks everyone who has bought that and enjoyed that and given me wonderful reviews. Thanks so much. For those of you that don't know that I'm actually a novelist, I started out as a novelist. Here is novel number 1, which is called Beyond the Gates of Hermes. So you can get stuck into that adventure fiction, historical adventure fiction with time travel and all sorts. Check out the reviews on Amazon. You can see it all there. And then the follow-up book was this, quite a tome, yeah? Beyond the Raging Flames, which is the follow-up in the Hermes series. And as you guys know, I've recently kind of put the books back out there, because I really did start out as a novelist. And in the video description below, you can follow my author page link, and there you can see all of my books, my biography and stuff. But I'm going to start writing book 3 next year. It is time. There is I'm not going to give it away, but there is an American character who appears in book 1. Book 3 is going to start with her character. It's all going to be about her and her life, and it's basically going to be set in contemporaneous America. So there might be a few characters, that you recognize once that book is written. I'm going to, well, not even probably, I'm going to have to change the names. But of course, if you see someone called a certain Duck L'Orange in there, which a character may refer to as, you know who it is. Yeah. And I just think it's time. And I'm actually really looking forward to writing that book, because there's a lot that I've observed. There's a lot that I want to say. As you guys know, I've been to America a lot, and I feel very privileged that I've been able to visit 25 out of the 50 states in the United States. And there's been a colossal change, of course, in the US and the wider world, which of course we'll be getting into as well in the show. And I think this is a really good time actually in my life to actually be kind of writing a book like this. There'll still be the time travel and adventure fiction and all of that stuff, but and you know, I'm just literally in the early days of sketching this book out, and I'm gonna have to do obviously quite a bit of research and stuff, go through my usual process. Books are marathons, by the way. But this will be my 4th book that I would have written, technically my 5th publication, because I illustrated a children's book once upon a time. But this will be my 4th, and so much life has happened since I wrote those first 2 books. And I just feel like writing a novel about contemporary America, like particularly what's happened in the recent past and what is unfolding now, is very important, because also as well, there's a lot more you can say in fiction. Fiction gives you a bit of a leeway to reveal truths, as it were, and what has turned out to be abundantly the case. And even though it is a cliche to say so, but it is true, often fact is stranger than fiction. And with all of the stuff that has happened, particularly in this second regime administration, if that was written in a fictional book, no one would have believed it. And I think we'd all be in agreement to say, if that were written in a book, it would seem far-fetched, ludicrous even. Yeah. So very often fact is stranger than fiction. So I just feel like it's time. I'm going to begin the process next year. I'm going to give myself, you know, obviously a bit of time off over Christmas. But you know, it's time. And this is, of course, I started my channel like when it comes to March, it will be 6 years. March 2026, 30th of March 2026 will be 6 years ago. And that's 6 years of being in the crucible or observing so much of American politics. If we think how much life has changed in that time, isn't it? Think about how much life has changed in that time. Gosh, I started my channel in lockdown. I think it was in the UK, we went into lockdown. It was in March it was like February, March 2020, and I started my channel on the 30th of March 2020. So coming up for almost 6 years, folks. Wow. And so much has happened. But without further ado, oh, and of course, don't forget as well, it's going well, actually. There's my retreat, of course, coming up on the 1st to the 4th of May 2026. Yes, 2026. It's going very well, and I want to give a shout out as well to who are the people that will be there. We're going to be having Ingrid there. Penne is going to be there. You two know who you are. Two women very close to my heart. We are also going to have Efefe, yeah, Efefe from Touched by Tarot and Beyond, and she's actually going to be doing some fireside tarot. So she's going to be, you know, adding her talents and flavors and her priestess energy to things. Who else are we have in there? Nelliana's going to be there. I'm going to be there. Someone very special to me is going to be there as well. Who else? There's a few other people. Names escape me. And then, of course, the people that contributed to the retreat this year as well. So that would be Mishka doing the breath work and that incredible Persephone work, and Christina for the yoga. And Eliana will be contributing as well, her ecstatic dance and all of the other wonderful stuff. And the food, oh, can't wait for the food. But the brochure is linked below, so you guys who are interested, check it out. I won't put it up on the screen. I'll do that another time. Let's dive in. Let's see who is in. Lynette is saying, oh yeah, they're agreeing with each other there on something. Amber saying, congratulations on all your accomplishments, Hoagie. Here's wishing you continued success. Thank you so much, Amber. Much appreciated. Yeah, sometimes I wish I could be a bit more normal, folks. But it's just the creativity. It keeps coming. But this book, I can't wait to get stuck in. Let me scroll up back through the chat, actually. And one of the things as well, just things to announce at the top of the show. Now, you guys who are part of my membership, you would have seen that I did a private video on Caroline Levitt. And I was actually wanting to look up her chart, but something's gone wrong with the software. I'm going to have to reload the software. I remember there was my protection, what's it called? The stuff that protects your computer. It flagged something up. So one of the files, I think, got a little bit corrupted. So my whole astrology software, particular one, is uninstalled. So I wasn't able to double check the chart. But I did say for Caroline Levitt, when her Saturn return happens, I said her life is going to change quite a lot. Let's see if she still sticks around. And she's just announced that she is with child. Yes, Caroline Levitt is expecting her second baby. Apparently, she's expecting a girl in May 2026. They say that she's going to stay on as the press secretary, but we'll see. Yeah, we'll see about that. Could be quite, that's quite a good get out of jail free card, I reckon. And also in other news, you know, not that the Trump regime wants us to relax for even a single moment. Many of you, or maybe not, only found this out today, is that the Trump regime has bombed Nigeria. Yeah, the north of Nigeria, apparently with the blessings from the Nigerian government. However, sources very close to me say that where they bombed was quite obscure. It doesn't seem like anyone's died, but it's quite an obscure village or something that they may have bombed. And it's also being said that the Nigerian government may not have been 100% on board, but are basically trying to save face. Yeah, so we've got a lot going on. A certain someone, as we know, really does not want us focusing on those Epstein files. So let's just dive in. I'm just going to read out, what's one of the first ones? Roxanne says, oh no, I had a dream and you were in it 2 days ago. Oh, what was that? And I thought I was going to remember it, and now it's almost all gone from my memory bank. I'll try to get back to it in time and see what I can recall. So, so Roxanne, my tip is that whenever you have a dream, this is what I do. You have to write it down immediately. In my case, as you guys know, I have to walk to my laptop and then just not only write it down and then I make a show about it. Yeah, because it's so ephemeral. It vanishes. Yeah, it just vanishes. And as you guys know, Duck L'Orange has been coming to me of late. And let's see, what's the other question here? Oh, that's interesting one. Please look at Canada. Does everyone on the right path? International relations. Several South Park Islands have been. Okay, so Nick Mink says several South Pacific islanders near Fiji have been seeing an uptick in earthquakes in the past few days. Do cards show if a major quake will hit shortly after a major quake hit? Vanuatu a few years ago, a new volcano emerged. So interested to see if there's any indications of, oh, then it goes ... I didn't have a chance to download this into a Word document. Let me just see if I can get up the rest of these questions on my phone instead. Un momento. And then we've got one here. Questions about shadow government from Jerry Gelding. F-45 is apparently the puppet of a shadow government, wondering what the card shows, future of US, more liberal government. Or all right, okay, so we'll check these things out. Let me just actually go into my, where is it? Let me go to posts and then see if I can track down those questions, get the full thing. All gone from my memory bank. I'll try to go back to Merry Christmas. Okay. So where was the other bit where it said ... Dream, no, was that? I don't know, good Crimbo cards, possibly FBI stuff. Please look at Canada. Let's just start with Canada and then I'll dig out the rest. I've got my phone up here because I want to carry on with the show. So again, Merry Christmas. Let's dig the old cards out. So please look at Canada and tell us we are on the right path domestically with our international relations. Thank you. Well, I can't guarantee that. As you know, I just read the cards rather than tell people, of course, what they want to hear. Although, of course, you know, I can understand why you want positive news. And let's see, because as you guys know, I let the cards speak, and that is the most important thing, and in fact the most authentic thing. I think, you know, sometimes people, you know, I think less so now, but you know what I mean. All right, let's see here. Look at Canada, and then let's look at South Pacific, and then let's look at F-45 shadow government. And then there's a question on the FBI redaction things, debacle. Let's take a look. So first, Canada. What's going on for Canada? What's 2026 looking like for Canada? Of course, you guys, the Americas have the World Cup, don't you? So let's see what comes up. What's in the mix for Canada? What's in the mix for Canada? We've seen that the just remember something, that the orange one has reset his eyes on Greenland. Let me just get a quick book for you before I forget. Forgive me for not being quite prepared today. Like I said, I thought I had more time, and then I realized that I set the show an hour earlier. So I normally prepare for an hour beforehand. All right. I've got to hold this back. Let me just put this here. This is from Penguin Books. Do you guys know Penguin Books? Yeah. And this one's called Donald Trump. Yeah. I'm going to read from little bits. I'll hold it back so I don't get a copyright strike. but I'm going to read from little bits. Penguin, yeah, you guys know Penguin, very, very, very famous children's book. Well, Penguin published all sorts of things, but these books you may recognize, yeah, from the Penguin kids book that basically teach people to read. They've done their own version on Donald Trump, and it's hilarious. So I'm going to read some of that at the end just to give us a bit of Christmas cheer. All right, Canada, let's take a look. Oh, Jesus, I'm going to have to pull a clarifier on that. Let me pull a clarifier. What does that mean? What does that mean? What's the clarifier on this for Canada? What's the clarifier on that card? What's the clarifiers on that? Let's have a look. Bloody hell. All right. As you guys know, I have to read what the cards say, not what I want them to be or what anyone else wants them to be, what the cards are actually presenting. Now, this is very interesting. If we look here, we have the Ace of Swords. Yep. So this is the card that is, of course, associated with truth. Yeah. Being forthright, forthcoming. This is, some people refer to this as the cutting through the BS card. So what this says to me is that 2026 is also going to be a year of revelation and truth for Canada as well. I feel like this is the truth where it's going to be revealed to Canada what its true place is in the world vis-a-vis independent from that of the United States, because, and actually quite willingly on the part of Canada, because they had no reason to distrust America until, of course, Degrasse came in for his second term. But they're now very much standing on their own 2 feet because of what's happened. You know, America referring to Canada as the 51st state, which we all know. There was actually a conservative government on its way in Canada, and basically Trump's behaviors pretty much guaranteed Mark Carney getting in. So I'm sure, I'm not saying Mark Carney is going to be writing Degrasse Christmas cards, but he's certainly done him a favor, and very much Canada has united around this new truth. Yeah, this is them holding up the sword of truth, particularly to US policy. Now, for those of you that are American and watching this, just in case, but you know we're not talking about you, because every once in a while people go, Hoagie, that's not us, it's blah blah blah. We understand that. I understand that. Most people understand that. We know that we are talking about the regime, and the regime does not represent all Americans, but because the regime is the one that's in power, that is the world has no choice but to respond in that way, and they use the term America. Anyway, so the truth, yeah, the truth for Canadians. So if we look here we've got the 2 of Pentacles. So now we know this card often deals with money, with finances, but you'll notice here that the guy is juggling. But look at the background. Yep, you see it's on the stormy seas. And remember, we're looking at 2026. So this is saying to me that Canada's going to have to do a bit more of a balancing act. There's going to be a bit more instability in the world, which, of course, you don't need to be a psychic to actually predict that. I mean, just imagine like the trajectory. I mean, look, the Trump regime has bombed Nigeria over Christmas. So they don't want things to be more stable. They said they've done it to protect Christians. That's what they're saying is the main thing. And this regime, they just chop and change. They move the goalposts depending on their agenda. 1 minute they can't stand Africa, yeah, and Degrasse is referring to Africa as you know what, as he says over the years, and then he goes in and bombs Nigeria. Allegedly to help the Christians. But you know, quite interesting, because got a bit of oil, hasn't it? Got a little bit of oil. You remember that mentioned? Yeah, that kind of squeaked in there as well, isn't it? Same for Venezuela. Anyway, if we look here, we see the strength card here for Canada. So it means that this is literally, I think this is Canada finding its strength as a country, as an independent country, which they always has been, but in terms of not relying on that relationship anymore. It's been made abundantly clear. Mark Carney said himself, but the Canadian people have shown great strength and fortitude. And like, no, we don't want any part of this. If we look here, we have the King of Wands. So again, this can be an entrepreneurial type figure, usually male, but doesn't always have to be. Wands, as you know, I associate not only with passion, but also with economy. The King of Swords in particular, I associate with business, businessmen, business persons. So this could literally be Mark Carney. That would be an appropriate fit. But look at this card. This worries me a little bit. Yeah. The Ten of Swords, which is the card of what? Betrayal. Yeah, betrayal, backstabbing, etc., stuffing like that, being removed. So my instinct is that, oh God, I don't even want to say it. I don't even want to say it, but I have to say what I'm getting. We know that the regime wants regime change in Venezuela. With this card here, could they want the same for Canada as well? Do they want to get rid of Mark Carney? Yeah. Because as you know, I have to say what I see, and this is a card of betrayal. I'm pretty certain that's Mark Carney, and it's followed by the Ten of Swords. That's why I pulled some clarifiers. I hope it's not the case. But then when I pulled the clarifiers, I was like, ugh. So trying to get clarity on this Ten of Swords. What is the energy behind it, this potential betrayal? Look, the Moon card, which we know, particularly when we're reading politics. Let me just drink some water. Particularly when we're reading on politics, we know this is a card of shenanigans. This is a card of secret plans. Nothing is clear by moonlight. Here we see the domesticated dog and the wild wolf. And as you notice here, I always say this water for me represents the collective unconscious or the deep unconscious. And you have the lobster coming out, which for me represents the id. And it goes towards the wolf. Wolves are incredible characters, but when we're talking about amazing animals with ethics, I mean, you don't want to die at the hands of a pack of wolves. No one wants that. But I mean, in terms of their hierarchy, their structures that they have, they're actually very disciplined animals, very, very intelligent. But this is representing the instinctual urges, yeah, the bestial urges. But we're also talking about the regime. What this says to me is it could be that the regime has plans for Canada that we don't know about. We know they've been talking about Greenland again recently, so I am a little bit concerned about that. If we look here, we have the Fool card. So, of course, this is a card of that is it's an alpha omega card, really, in many ways. The Fool begins the journey and can also be seen as ending the journey. It doesn't actually have a number. It's really actually 0. So this can talk about foolishness, of course, foolhardiness, but this can also talk about a leap of faith. Yeah. What this says to me is that Canada's going to have to take quite a big leap of faith here. Here, we've got the Five of Swords because there's been an abuse of power. I'm going to have to pull 2 more, aren't I? I think I see where this is going. I think I know what this is. Oh, I hope it doesn't come true, but I think I know what this is. Wasn't expecting the reading to go this way. All right. 2 more cards on that abuse of power. Who's abusing that power? Oh, God. Bloody hell. All right. Here we get the 4 of Pentacles. So this is an element here of trying to hold on. Canada's going to have to maintain its borders, yeah? Hold on to its sovereignty in terms of the economics as well. You know what? And then look. We look here. We got the 5 of Cups. Yep, 3 of the cups are spilt, and they literally do have spilt blood in there. And then 2 of them are standing up. What I feel is, the way I'm interpreting that is, because we know there's some economic issues that are already happening, yeah? Economic issues that are already happening. Oh, do you see that? I hope you saw that. The screen blanked out a little bit. Let me just hold on to the obsidian. This regime, this US regime, the Trump regime cannot be trusted with anything. They have a lot of plans, hidden plans. And I think they want rid of Mark Carney. And I think Canada is going to have to defend itself. Hopefully not defend its borders, but let's just say certainly economically, because look, this is a card of money, yeah? Against what? Losses, some kind of disappointment, losses, yeah? Because you see there's a betrayal here. There's a betrayal. So there could be an attempt at some kind of like economic sabotage, I'm going to say, from the regime. I think the Trump regime is going to try and attempt some kind of economic sabotage, or maybe there's some kind of economic contagion or something like that. I was hoping that it would be a lot more positive. But I have to say what I see, and just with what I'm tuning in, particularly with this regime, yeah, this very interventionist regime. You remember, it's all supposed to be America first. They're everywhere but America, yeah, and the people are starting to wake up. So I wasn't expecting the reading to go that way, but again, I have to say what I see. So next year, I think there might be some financial up and downs, but I think it's very much connected with the fortunes of the US, and there could even be a little bit of betrayal and sabotage there. I wouldn't put it past this Duck L'Orange regime at all. Wouldn't put it past them. All right, let's look at, so we're going to get onto FBI and stuff, and then F-45 and shadow government ideas. Let's look at the Pacific Islands. Let's look at Fiji and just see what's going on, particularly with these solar flares and all of this kind of stuff. You know, this can be very, very activating, as it were. Let's just also, as well as, let's see who else is in the chat. So Lynn was like, "Oh, eagerly awaiting, thank you." And then, "Hi, do you see Donald Trump being tried for treason?" Not yet. We can look into it. Look for that to happen. We just have to keep it real, yeah. For that to happen, the Democrats would have to win the midterms, assuming that the midterms happen. They're already trying to gerrymander and change and do all of this stuff because they know that they are cooked. Once the Democrats have, once they've got the executive and once they've got the House, then and then of course they'll need the Senate as well. Once they've got those, then it's possible. SCOTUS, of course, is a major issue. Look, the Democrats just need to go scorched earth and gambusters on this. No more committee stuff. We're way beyond that now. We're just way beyond that now. We've got here, Deborah is saying, "Hello, Happy New Year, sunny Kansas." And then Mary's saying, "I think once he knows he's in deep legal doo-doo, he'll play the crazy card to evade justice while all those around him take the fall for everything while he sits in a luxury loony bin." Yeah, it could well be that, because he is genuinely demented. Like Trump has a medical condition. It doesn't excuse him, but it is real. And there are people that are saying that he's got frontal lobal dementia, which contributes to his delusions of grandeur and all of this kind of stuff. And it's going to reach a point, because he's going to continue to deteriorate, where he will either have to be put in some kind of luxury institution, or he'll be shipped overboard, which, that's been one of my theories for the longest. unfortunately, as we know, dementia does not improve. He's not going to get better. He's only going to get worse. He's only going to deteriorate. And those around him are going to try and take even more advantage of him. This is kind of really, it's kind of, again, this doesn't absolve Trump because he's a deeply wicked person, but this is also elderly abuse as well, because they know that he's not well. This is why they can entertain all of these absurdities with him, and he goes along with it, because all they have to do is appeal to his natural vengeance and his desires for retribution and his narcissistic injuries that he's received over 2025. And he'll go along with, you know. Anyway, Fiji. Just major quick. Will there be a quake? I don't really like reading on quakes because it's kind of like a bit doom laden, isn't it? Let's see. Will there be any activity there in Fiji? Any activity there in Fiji? And it's one of those readings as well. If you get it right, it's like, oh wow, I predicted an earthquake. I mean, it's hardly a nice thing to predict, isn't it? But that's the question. So let's take a look. I'm not seeing earthquakes. I'm not seeing earthquakes. Might be interesting things going on politically, though. If we look here, get the Hierophant. Hierophant talks about established norms. It can also talk about religion, spirituality. I can't remember, what is the religion of Fiji? Are they Catholic? Let me just see. What's the I think they're, because look, this is the Pope here. I wonder if they're Catholic. Let me just, so I'm going to search now. What is the religion of Fiji? Let's see. Oh well, look at look at that. All right, I'm going to share. Does that friggin' AI overview? You can't switch it off. But anyway, let me just do share screen. Just bring you in on these things, you know, live show and all that. Look, Fiji, here we go. Fiji is predominantly Christian, around 69%, with strong Methodist and Catholic followings, while Hinduism around 24%, so that's a quarter, and Islam around about 6% from significant minorities, largely split along ethnic lines, with indigenous Fijians being mostly Christian and Indo-Fijians mostly Hindu or Muslim. Smaller communities of Sikhs, Baals and others also exist, and Fiji celebrates diverse religious holidays. So there you are. That was pretty much bang on then, wasn't it? You know, Christian and Catholic. So this is talking about the religion of the nation and the established norms. Here we've got the Two of Cups, which talk, not the Two of Cups, that's the Six of Cups, which talks about nostalgia, wanting to go back to the past. In a sense, I think this is talking about family values. Yeah, I've got no, this is a complete cold read. I don't know what's going on in Fiji. I just have to read the cards. Look, there's a sense that people are feeling bound or trapped or a hostage to fortune, maybe in regards to things like family values and stuff. If you guys have got any feelers on the ground and can back this up, if we look here, we have got the 10 of Pentacles, which of course is the card of institutions, leaving a legacy. This for me can also talk about patriarchal influence as well, because the first card here is the Hierophant. And then the outcome card is a sense of betrayal, heartache, loss. So is there some kind of conservative movement that's happening in Fiji right now? And maybe it's getting a bit too institutionalized or controlling, where the people are feeling a bit bound? Or is it that the traditional values, maybe people may feel that those are holding the country back, or maybe the country feels it's straying from those values? That I can't be sure, because I know next to nothing about Fiji apart from the gorgeous place that it is. So I'll just leave it there on that one. So I'm gonna have to rely on you guys giving me a bit of feedback on that. Let's cross that off and let's dive into let's look at this one. This is let's do FBI. Let's do FBI on this one, the next one. So happy holidays again to everyone. Merry Christmas and all that jazz. Here we are. We've got some Floridians in. Sharon, hello everyone from sunny Florida. Although we will have a cool down in time for New Year's. That's good. And then we've got here Vedi Dynamics. Wishing everyone a happy and prosperous new year. Hopefully for me, energy improvements in a few. Okay, yes, I hope so too. Someone here, Jenny is saying, or yeah, Jenny, the US is having a meltdown. Can anyone save us? Oh, I mean, that's a tricky one because you guys have got the most powerful, technically you have the most powerful military on earth. I think this is where, for me personally, just responding to that, Americans have to save themselves. People have to rise up. As you know, I've been saying for the longest, it has to reach a point where the vast majority of the country just gives up on this douchebag. Trump still has approval ratings in the 30s, in the mid 30s. Some people say, well, that's fake and blah, blah, blah. And I don't think it is, because I'm seeing a lot of YouTubers talk about their own families. But what they're saying is, people are saying that their MAGA families are starting to wake up. Yeah. And as you guys know, I would share my screen with you, but obviously the software is not working at the moment. But as you know, I said from the 29th of March, 2025, with that Saturn and Neptune combination, I said illusions and delusions will be destroyed. And that's what's happening en masse. People are starting to wake up. You know, think of all those people that are voted for MAGA that are going to be out of pocket, let alone the ones that didn't vote for this madness. But even they, you know, like I said, in a crisis, the pocketbook screams the loudest. And this is a high soprano that is going out over the top of the other din that this Trump regime is trying to create. And it's so shrill and it's so high that it cannot be dulled down. And as we go into the new year, and as these situations become more and more acute, even more people will start peeling off. You know, there's some people that literally have made, like when I was tuning into the energy, they have literally have made a vow to go over the side of the cliff with Duck L'Orange. Yeah. But there are some that, there are many that are waking up. Many that are waking up. For me, things being in the 30s, it's still too much. Yeah, like Trump's approval rating should be below 10% at this stage, as far as I'm concerned. Whether or not it will get quite that low, we have to see. But there's also a lot of people that are very rabid. I remember as well, he is largely supported, as we've noticed, by the very wealthy and certainly the billionaires. But they are a minority. Yeah, they're only 10% of the total US country. So as more and more people wake up, it also means as well, though, about 70% and loose change of America really are seeing him for what he is. So that in itself is encouraging. All right, let's take a look. Jerry Gelding says, as F-45 is apparently the puppet for a shadow government, wondering what the cards show for the future of US once he's gone. Will a more liberal government form, or will the autocratic BS continue for a while longer? Oh, good question. I don't even think it's shadow government at this stage. It's Duck L'Orange and the regime are in cahoots with Russia. I think it's very clear. Again, for entertainment purposes only. That's not even ambiguous. But what I think you mean by the shadow government, but even the shadow government angle, that's clear now as well. It's the billionaires. It's certainly not for Americans, and Americans are waking up to that now. Let's just see. What does the cards show for the US once he's gone? All right, so this is post Duck L'Orange. Duck L'Orange is gone. What does that show for the US? Let's hope the cards are positive. Post Declarange. Post Declarange. I think biology is taking its toll. Ah! Well. This is looking pretty good. Yeah. This is looking pretty good, I must say. All right. Post Declarange. First of all, what we have here is the Two of Swords. What does this mean? The Two of Swords is about making choices, yeah, making decisions. You'll notice that the person in this card is blindfolded. And what this card teaches us, what it shares with us, is that many people have been avoiding what has been obvious about Trump for years. Yeah, but it's reaching the stage where they can't avoid it anymore. They have to stop pretending because the pocketbook screams the loudest. There is a din. Yeah, the pocketbook is screaming so loud now that this blindfold is starting to blow off. And the Republicans are tanking. They're scrabbling around wondering what they're going to do. So this for me is like, this is the situation getting real. And assuming the midterms happen, and I say assuming, just like how I said, assuming Kamala wins. Yeah, and I remember I said, I was like, yeah, remember I got a lot of stick for it at the time. But I'm not making any assumptions, not with these people, because they know that if they lose the midterms, a lot of them will be going to jail. And even Steve Bannon admitted that on one of them APAC, whatever crappy things that he was on. He said, we're going to be going to jail. So, but this is also the electorate. Yeah. The ones that have not been wanting to see. Yeah. And it's been surprising just how many people have been turned a blind eye. Yeah. To what Trump was about. Because they're like, oh yeah, I'm going to get money, blah, blah, blah. And it's not just been the usual suspects as well. A lot of people from many diverse backgrounds. Yeah. We know who the 92% are, yeah, and the 80% as well that didn't vote for this bullshit. Just saying, this is now coming off. If we look here, we have the Two of Cups. The American people have to create a new covenant. A new covenant. The two halves are going to have to come back together, yeah, for the common good. Democrats and Republicans, they might even have to call themselves something different. Yeah, because one of the things that a lot of people have not been wanting to see is the corporate influence. And that's not just on the Republican side as well. The Democrats are waking up, or Democrat voters are waking up to this now as well. Yeah, this blindfold is coming off. Like you've heard me say before, I've not said it enough, but I need to say it more. America at the moment is not functioning as a country. It is a corporation and the billionaires are in charge. But spring is coming to Narnia. Yeah. Everyone's starting to wake up. Yeah. We need there's going to be a bit of an Aslan moment, to use the Narnia kind of analogy. Yeah. The evil Ice Queen's grip is starting to melt, yeah? As more and more people start to wake up, a new partnership has to be made. The two halves and all the independents, everyone has to come together. If America does not come together, you will not win. And I don't mean that to be dramatic, but this is what is at stake. However, people are coming together, which gives me hope. Yeah, because the bullshit is starting to wear off. Yeah, and that's what it's been. Bullshit. I know I'm swearing on my channel, but this is utter crap that's going on, and the world is agog at the rubbish. Anyway, here, after coming together, yeah, America can move to smoother waters. Yep. So after people come together, after the full blindfold is being ripped off, which it is, and people start to come together in partnership, then the nation can start to move to smoother waters. And when it does, look, there'll be celebration in the streets. People will be happy. Looking good, isn't it? Remember, I have to say what I see, not just blowing air up people's you know what. I'm just reading the cards. And then look, the outcome, the Four of Wands, which is what? My card for the White House. So it looks like there is a promising future for the United States if it can get through this tumultuous time. But in order to do so, the BS has to stop. Those people that are still sitting there on the fence, you know, there with Duck L'Orange. And I will also extend that as well to, I don't see that many readers, but there's still one or two astrologers out there that need a slap. Yeah. This guy is dangerous. Trump is dangerous. He is destroying the United States for his own profit and gain. And he doesn't give a flying you know what about anyone or anything except his own wealth and the enrichment of his family and his cronies. But now more and more people are starting to recognize. So again, if the American people come together at the ballot box, which I think they will, then the country can start moving in a smoother direction. There will be celebration and there will be a new leader in the White House, hopefully one that respects democracy. So that was a lot better than I was expecting. Let's all pray and hope that it comes true. Yeah. 3i Atlas, keep doing your work. Keep waking people up. People are waking up. And I know I was a bit harsh there, but look what it's taking. There's going to be a lot of pain in 2026, you know. But one thing I'll say for sure, by the time it comes to not even the midterms, I think by the time we're in like summer 2026, yeah, when America is 250 years old, there will be very, very few people that are still batting for Trump. It's already precipitously dropping, but it's going to be less. But it needs to kind of fall below 20%. You know, 30% is still too high. So that means there's a lot of people that just need more slaps until they wake up out of this coma. But that was positive, wasn't it? So I'm glad I could say that. All right. Let's see who else is in the chat. And then we're going to look at the FBI stuff. Let's just see here. Oh, let me go back to, let me just scroll down a bit. People saying, Hogarth, the Global Astrology, happy holidays from Connie. Oh, made red chili pork pasol. Lovely, Pueblo style. Oh, pardon, that sounds good. And then Deborah says, I've been praying for Trump's bumper sticker song. 190:8. Check it out, please. I don't know what that one is. And then Suzanne said, my duck's got watermelon, lettuce, and mango for Christmas lunch. Gorgeous. And then Vilma is saying, thanks, Hoga, for dropping in on Boxing Day. Much appreciation. Thank you. And then Burnham Alley says, feels like Arlena has been on the go forever. Yeah, she has. She's been all over. And then Lena is Australian. They travel like that. Yes, we know she's Australian. And then someone said, tell us what you did for Boxing Day. I think I mentioned that. I think today I was just chilling out, went for a nice long walk. And then someone said, yes, Lena, let me just scroll down. What was this here? Someone talking about ice. When was that? Oh, bugger. Let's see here. I'll just scroll down because there's so many comments. Here we go. Yeah. CG says, I live in the ruby red heartland and it's changing. I don't see L'Orange flags or yard signs around anymore. Yes, because they're being kicked in the kuni. Absolutely. Slapped left, right, and center by what? Reality. Saturn. Yeah. Saturn is the planet of karma. And Saturn can be wonderful as well. You know, he can leave a block of gold for you on the doorstep, but you consistently make the wrong decisions. Woo! And now with this combination, wow, man, just, you know, there's going to be a lot of consequences. Remember all of those premiums that are going up for health? A lot of rural, particularly rural in red state hospitals, whoosh, gone, already gone already. Still saying not being kicked in the cookie. Now I said kuni. We all know what that is. Could be the same for men and women. Hello, Hogarth. Happy to see you today. I'm so glad you came on. I enjoy your show so much. Thank you so much. What's this here? And what's this? CG says, and no more 47 hats on the farmers in the coffee shop. Yeah, good. Good. Getting hit with the sledgehammers. You know, it's ridiculous that these people would even consider this man once, let alone 3 times. But anyway, let's see it. Nick Mink says, evening, hope you had a good crimbo. Can you ask cards on the possibility that the FBI staff knew that the redacted info could be easily uncovered as an FU to the regime, ? As many felt it was a waste of resources, it would seem divine retribution. What else does she say? All right, yeah, divine retribution against the dumbasses. Well, let's take a look. Let's take a look. It could have just been sheer rank incompetence, but I hope it was sabotage. Because surely anyone who's close to the regime, who has even a crumb of self-preservation, will realize that this guy is on a destroy mission for the USA. Anyone with a shred of patriotism would undermine this regime at every turn they could. And apparently I saw a YouTuber that was talking about that the architects behind Project 2025 are also starting to abandon ship as well. Oh, there's over 1,000 of you here. Thank you so much, everyone. And please be sure, of course, to like and subscribe and to share and hit the bell notification. So, you know, that algorithm, you know, sometimes, you know, YouTube can be a little bit sketch. And don't forget to hype as well. And if you've not check out my books, yeah, for a bit of the, shall we say, holiday season read. Yeah. And if you fancy joining me on my retreat in May as well, again, all linked in the description below. All right. FBI. Was it sabotage, that the ability to unredact? Was that sabotage? Was that sabotage? Oh. Oh, I'm going to have to pull a clarifier here. Clarifier or two. How much time have we got? Oh, crikey, I need to hurry up. Oh, I enjoy spending time with you guys. The time just goes in the flash. Clarifiers on this. Let's pull 3 cards, clarifiers. See what's going on. Well. All right, here we go. So the question was, can you answer the cards the possibility that the FBI staff knew that the redacted info could be easily uncovered as an FU to the regime? Right. So let's take a look. Isn't this interesting? Look who we have here. We have the Queen of Cups, which we know is what? The card of secrets. Amazing, isn't it? That shows that spirit is leaning in. So this is talking about the FBI. They know all of the secrets, yeah? But then look, here in the obstacle position, or sometimes it's reinforcing, but if we look here, look, the chariot, moving forward at great speed with haste. Yeah. So first of all, what that says is that in terms of trying to keep the secrets, there was too much haste, too much speed, even though they've had a long time. But this is the first time that they've actually like really had to kind of release things because they've not wanted to. Yeah. So that deadline came and went. Yeah. So there was a lot of haste. There was a lot of speed. But this could also talk about people that want to what? Speed out the secrets. Yeah. Keep them coming out. Keep that momentum going. This is a card of momentum. The second card can technically be the obstacle position. But I think these are anyone who is opposed to the regime. They want to get all of that stuff out. Yeah. So there's a possibility that they could have been unredactable on purpose. If we look here, we've got the Knight of Wands. So this is talking about an energy rearing up. This is talking about heat. This is talking about passion. What this says to me is that there's potentially quite a few people within the FBI that are rearing up. Yeah, rearing up, making their views known. They're reading the room and going, yeah, this isn't looking good. These are two cards of speed as well. Yeah, the Chariot is very fast. The Knight of Wands is very fast. So is the Knight of Swords, which I consider one of the fastest. 8 of Wands. So you see here, speed, 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 speed. If we look here, the 6 of Cups returns. This is a sense of wanting to get back to norms. Yeah, there are people within the FBI who are like, screw this. This is manic. I mean, can you believe in Kash Patel that who is the current head of the FBI, he used to be a podcaster. What on earth does he know about FBI protocols and whatnot? Yeah. So clearly within the FBI, what this says to me is, yes, the keepers of secrets want to facilitate the downfall. Yeah. The speed up this process on the Epstein files. Yeah, they are rearing up. There are brave individuals that are rearing up because they want things to return to some sense of normalcy. They have a nostalgia. They're prepared to defend their position, and they're also prepared. The regime is also going to have to defend its position as well as these files keep coming out. Yeah. So it's there. Yes, I think there is an element here of undermining so that the regime has to gets more attack from all different sides. Yeah. And then to clarify that, if we look, this is encouraging, isn't it? We have the Justice card. I don't think this is talking about SCOTUS. I think this is talking about SCOTUS. This could talk about SCOTUS potentially as an obstacle. But this is talking about legalities of all kinds. Yeah. If we look here, look at this. 8 of Cups. People are walking away. Yeah. They are abandoning ship, as we saw before, as it becomes increasingly clear. And then if we look here, we have the 7 of Pentacles, which is the ROI card, as you know, a return on investment. So I think what that means is there are people in the FBI, the holders of secrets, that are invested in bringing this truth out at a rapid pace, boldly. They're brave. Yeah, they're prepared. They're going to go for it. They want to return to norms. Yeah, they're sick and tired of the craziness going on, and they want to put the regime on the defensive. And then at some point, particularly after the midterms, assuming that the Democrats are in and assuming the midterms happen, then the full legalities can begin to come in. And then more and more people will abandon, will walk away, and they will get a reward for their investment. So what I'm going to say is there are patriots within the FBI. They are not all going along with this. They know that they've got an absolute turnip for a boss in the form of Kash Patel, who is an absolute imbecile, which we can all agree on. And if you are, imagine you're an agent and you've been working for FBI 10 plus years and you got that, I was going to say turkey, but it'd be an insult to turkeys, that, buffoon podcaster as your boss, and you are top expert FBI, and you've got to take orders from a douchebag like that. Nah. So what that says to me is it may well have been deliberate that those files were able to be unredactable. So that gives me hope. I hope that's given you guys a lift. Just to close, because I'm already over, typical, I'm going to, here, this is the Penguin book, yeah, and it's called Donald Trump, yeah, and you can see it's just an orange there. These Penguin books are classics. I used to have these as a kid. Look, there we are. I've got to be careful. I might be demonetized. Anyway, look here, picture of the White House. I'm going to read you this bit here. I'm going to read you a story. The United States of America is the most powerful country in the world, and its president is the most powerful person in the world. Anyone can grow up to become president, or they can become president first and then think about growing up later. Let me. Oh, this is Penguin, you know, Penguin. Here, look, this page here. It says Donald Trump has very big hands, the best hands. Donald measures his hands. They are very, very big and getting bigger every day. And I'm going to show you one more page here, this page of helicopters and stuff. It says Donald has called an important meeting. It's with all of his closest work colleagues who are not in prison. Here they both are. I will leave it there, folks. I hope that has given you a chuckle. I could carry on, but I must end the show there so it doesn't drag on for too long. So Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays as well to all those that celebrate. I hope you had a good scoff, good food. 2026 is going to be dicey, folks, but there is hope. Look at those cards, yeah, those readings, yeah, there is hope. The illusion is being destroyed and shattered. Saturn is doing his work. In mid-February, Saturn and Neptune will come together at the same degree. In Western Tropical, it's going to be exactly at 0 degrees of Aries. In Vedic, it is on the spring equinox, which is in Pisces. Now, either way, this degree, these two planets coming together are extremely important. Remember what I said as well, that the conjunctions between Neptune and Saturn are not good for Russia either. The last time they were together, it was the fall of the Berlin Wall. On one level, you could say that Russia has scored quite the victory in terms of getting the Trump regime to become an extension of the Kremlin. Yeah, no mean feat. But from what I hear, word is on the street that things in Russia aren't really so good, particularly with the banking system, because this war has been extraordinarily expensive. Next year is the fire horse. Let's not forget that. The fire horse, as you guys know. Here, this obviously this book was written a while ago, but look, I have a fire horse on the front of my second book. I'm taking that as a symbolism, yeah? It does mean there could be escalations in military stuff, which we're already meaning, but it also means the world is going to be moving at great pace. Remember, too, that K2, snip, snip, is also in sidereal Leo. He's going to start moving through Magha Nakshatra, which is also where a certain orange man's ascendant is. Remember I said leaders around the world will fall. There will be people falling from office. We're going to get new people in. People that have a more spiritual disposition and are actually wanting humanity to evolve, those will be the kind of leaders that will start doing well. People holding on to that old energy of control and that Kali Yuga energy, they will be falling. So with those cards put in combination, it does look like it might be a bit dicey for Canada at some point. But in terms of the United States, as more and more people wake up, as you come together, as you vote in the right direction, assuming that the voting stuff happens, then you can move to the smoother waters, and then it's looking a lot better, isn't it? So I'm glad I was able to leave you with more of a positive message there. So again, share, like, subscribe, hype, all of that jazz. If you want to see those private videos, of course, there's membership as well. And I will leave it there, and you'll next see me maybe Monday. maybe Monday. If not, then definitely Wednesday. And Lena will be back. We'll be there with Susan Lynn will be on as well. So thank you so much, everyone. And bye-bye for now. All right. Big love, everyone. And see you soon. Mwah!